Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be interviewing a very gorgeous woman, a woman who has been in many great underrated horror and sci-fi movies, Stacy Travis. You may remember her from Phantasm 2 and Tripwire and Dr. Hackenstein, the Trauma movie, and so many others. And today I'm going to be interviewing her and stuff. I can't wait. It's going to be really, really good. I haven't been able to get anybody from the Phantasm franchise, but today I've got her, and it's going to be hella good and stuff. Her brother is Greg Travis from movies like Showgirls, and he's a stand-up comedian, and I can't wait because, as you know, I'm a stand-up comedian, and I'm going to ask her about him, and it's going to be hella cool. So, yeah. So here is my interview with Stacy Travis. Hi, Stacy.
Hey, Tommy. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Awesome. It's such an honor. You're one of the most gorgeous and talented women in the world.
Well, I don't know about that, but thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So, you've had an amazing career in various genres, but since it's October, I'd like to talk about your horror and sci-fi cult classics.
Okay.
Going back to the beginning, though, did you know early on you wanted to be an actress?
Yes, I did. I was one of those kids that kind of knew by, 6 or 7, I wanted to focus on that. I thought I wanted to sing for a long time and be a singer, but I found it frustrating being in bands in high school and dealing with getting people in a band to show up and rehearse. I don't know. It just, it ended up, I just thought, gosh, this could be, actors people say can be flaky, but musicians are maybe even more so. So I just felt like I found my home in the theater and stuck with that.
Wow. Did you know, did you have any acting influences?
Yeah, I mean, so many, but I would say we just had such a wealth of amazing actors from the 40s and 50s, 60s that I loved watching, and then grew up watching reruns of I Love Lucy and Dick Van Dyke Show, but I loved Betty Davis. I loved Carol Lombard. I thought there's just so many amazing, strong female performances in those eras, but I also, loved watching Meryl Streep, Glenda Jackson, and Glenn Close, Liv Ullmann. I liked a lot of foreign films and watching Catherine Deneuve, Oh my God, there's just so many. Simone, there's amazing French actresses as well, Isabelle Huppert. So yeah, I there's a ton of people I would say I was influenced by.
Oh, nice. And your brother is Greg Travis?
Yes. Yeah, he's an actor, filmmaker, comic.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I saw him on An Evening at the Improv in the Rodney special doing the punk rock magician.
Yes, that was a big, that's a sort of very noteworthy bit for him because, there weren't many other comedians kind of taking on the punk rock era. That was funny.
Yeah, it's a classic. You two are originally from Texas?
Yeah, originally from Dallas. Grew up in Dallas.
And where did you train for acting?
I had a scholarship to Pepperdine, and then I went to London and studied at London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts. The acronym is LAMDA, and then came back and sort of doing a deal with my parents to finish college and not just stay in London and try to act, though with the visas that was going to be problematic. I ended up at film school at USC and graduated from there, so a roundabout way. But while I was at film school, I was kind of a type A person. I also took acting class from Roy London, who was a really celebrated, brilliant teacher who lost to AIDS, sadly, but he was known and inspired her work.
Right.
And she's raised tons and tons of money for AIDS in his honor. So, but I studied with him, and Brad Pitt was in my class, and Sharon was in a class she's older, and they were already working. I was in college, but boy, was just wonderful.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good stuff about him.
Very, very incredibly smart, and was with the RSC, I think, as a teenager. I mean, he was sort of a savant, but really thrilled to be able to find him and study with him. And I was doing a comedy show in West Hollywood, primarily gay audience, and they were kind of it was like a fake pageant, and most of the people in the pageant were men in drag, and I was like the only female. And anyway, he found me after that performance and said, you know, you should come study with me, you know, blah blah blah. So it was great because I probably wouldn't have found out about him for years had that not happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was back before the internet and everything.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, as always, there's always tons of acting teachers. And I was with a group of friends. We used to meet on Saturdays and do Meisner technique. We were, you know, pretty geeky, pretty obsessed. So I was always doing something to get better.
In theater, because you sang, did you do musicals?
Yes, a little bit of both, you know, but I like doing both for sure. You know, I think had I not grown up in Texas, I probably would have gone to New York instead of California, but my brother was out here and my parents did not want me going straight to New York, so that probably cleared a path of not focusing as much on musicals and Broadway as I probably would have.
Yeah, a little brotherly protection and everything.
Exactly.
So what year did you move to LA?
Oh, God, I don't know. In the 80s.
It was a long time ago.
Exactly.
So how did you get so lucky to make your feature film debut as Jerry in Phantasm 2?
Actually, my first film was Dr. Hackenstein, and I was at college and answered an ad in probably backstage or something, and ended up getting the lead in that, which was very hilarious and
yeah,
you know, funny, kind of period. It was just a trip to make it, but it was a period film. And the actress from Throw Mama from the Train, I think that was her last film, I believe.
And
so
Ramsey.
That was interesting. And she had, you know, had a lot of notoriety having just done that film when they asked her. So then I think Phantasm, or Deadly Dreams, I'm sorry. Were you asking about Phantasm?
Phantasm 2, yeah.
Yeah, that, I believe I just read for it, and I think I read for a part that they were like, you know, you're going to have to be naked on the slab at the end for this part. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to say no to that. I don't think so. She goes, well, read for this other thing. So then I read for that and ended up in that. And the director was lovely, very fun, Don Coscarelli.
Yeah.
And I always remember very distinctly my first morning. It was dark, and I got to set, and they said, oh, you know, you need to walk over here to your trailer or whatever. And then I got to the trailer, and they said, oh, walk over here to makeup. And we were in a cemetery, and there was an open grave dug for the scene, I guess, and it was super creepy, just kind of walking through. And then I get to where I'm going, and there's Angus. So it was just like, oh my God, you know, I am in a horror film, and so that was, but he was lovely and couldn't have been nicer, but you know, it's like in a dark cemetery in the morning running into him, and it was daunting, but funny.
Yeah, I met Don last year at a horror convention. He is such a class act gentleman, that guy.
Very nice guy.
Yeah, he's one of those guys you meet him and go, oh my God, he writes all this creepy, dark stuff, but he's just such a great guy. You know?
Yes. Sorry, I'm joking. I took a sip of water. Yes, he is. He was very sweet, very nice person. I don't think I've seen him in years or actually run into him, though. I've had friends that have had him on different podcasts or different things, and so, you know, they've mentioned to me, but I actually have not crossed paths with him in a long time.
Mm-hmm. And had you seen the original?
No, and you know, I think I did before I went to work on 2, but I had not not at that point. I knew of it and I'd heard of it, but honestly, I can be quite squeamish with certain things, so it wasn't something where I, could quote lines from the first one. Once I did see it, I knew it was a cult hit, but I didn't, I hadn't jumped on in the bandwagon at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Reggie Bannister was good to work with.
Yes, very sweet, and yeah, I mean, it's it's always weird. You're in a funeral parlor scene, and so it was, it's like a sad scene, but yeah, it was. I used to have a photo of myself with Angus years ago, and I wish I could find it, because I always thought that was so fun to get that shot with him, but I don't know where it went.
Yeah. Do you still get recognized for that movie?
I used to years ago more. I don't know if they've made so many now that people don't go to 2 as much. I don't know. So no, I would say not as much.
Yeah. They just came out with a 5th one not too long ago. I haven't seen it yet, though.
Okay. Yeah.
Then you did a favorite of mine, Earth Girls Are Easy.
Yeah, that was a blast. That was actually the first film I did when I just graduated and had run into the director because I worked with Julie, the show I was referring to earlier, the comedy club that was playing her backup singer, but later, but in that show I was one of the pageant contestants. And so we worked together. I was in her videos and with live shows while I was in college. We did live shows. I remember we played the Palace, and there was a band that had been on Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack, and they were opening, and we were playing after them, and it was just such a trip to have a big audience, and I was dressed like a giant Girl Scout, it was goofy. It was like a comedy show. We were singing Earth Girls Are Easy, or I Like Them Big and Stupid, or Cause I'm a Blonde, we weren't like a serious band, so it was so fun to, I actually left a history final and raced over there and put on this goofy outfit and jumped up, and there were hundreds of people in the audience. It was crazy. I was like a weird juxtaposition of my life, college student by day, performing by night. But so I went way back with Julie. So she had said, yeah, we got to get you in the film. And so when I ran into the director at a bookstore, at Book Soup on Sunset, I mentioned to him, and he said, sure, just, show up on Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, well, it's not so easy. It's so hard getting roles, but that was probably the only time that ever happened, If you watch, I'm in the movie twice. I play the role where I'm wearing the American Express earrings, and then later I show back up as a dancer person in Cause I'm a Blonde on the Beach, which we shot as a pickup. I think months later they redid that in Malibu, and Julie asked me to come in and do that, so I'm actually in it twice.
Yeah, I remember me and one of my ex-girlfriends were watching the movie. I hadn't seen it in a while, and she thought it was one of the worst movies she had ever seen. And yeah, I could not get a laugh out of her until after she did after Julie sings the "Because I'm Blonde" and she does that little Miss America speech. I'm going to open up a hospital because I love children, and she was howling after that.
Right. It's kind of if you look back now, it's just such a perfectly encapsulated 80s film because of the outfits and driving up and down Ventura Boulevard in the 80s where they, the Valley Girl accent came from, and just, and that Moon Zappa made famous. So, yeah, it's a very time capsule film. It's very funny. And one of the first films I believe Damon Wayans did, and Jim Carrey did, and not for Jeff and Gina, but certainly for those two, it was a big break, and it was fun to work with them. They were really funny.
Yeah, Julian Temple, I think he's a genius who should have been a huge Hollywood director because he had come from music videos, and
that's right.
Yeah, and he had done a movie just before this called Absolute Beginners, which was a huge disaster. And I think because of that, in this movie, not doing so well at the box office, I think that's why he never found his footing as a Hollywood director.
I don't know. Yeah, he went on to do some interesting films. I remember he came in the makeup trailer, and the other two girls that I was in the scenes with, I can't remember their names right now, but he said, I went to a club in Hollywood this weekend, and somebody had on American Express earrings, so he's like, great. So then the makeup artist goes, well, now we need, because my hair was long, she's like, let's put it up then so that the earrings stand out. I was like, great. So they put my hair up in this kind of crazy fake mohawk thing, and I wore the earrings. And when they reviewed the film in Time magazine, they mentioned the girl in the American Express earrings. So, and they were actually the directors. He cut up his own. I still have them, so they have, you can see temple on them. But it was funny because I thought that's a good lesson to just say yes, say yes, yes, yes. Like, who wants to do this? I do. It ended up making you stand out in the film and even in the reviews. But yeah, he's a very sweet guy. And his daughter now is hugely successful. Juno Temple.
Yeah, it's a hilarious and underrated movie.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun to be in that.
So, Dr. Hackenstein was your first official movie then?
Yes.
And that was a trauma movie. I love the trauma movies.
I think they picked it up. It wasn't made for them. It was made, most of the filmmakers had just graduated AFI and kind of cobbled together the money with, God knows, probably credit cards and family members. And it was so ambitious because they were trying to do a period piece. They needed cars. They needed complicated costumes. We shot at one of these old, beautiful Victorian-type houses near USC, and it had all these creepy doorways that led to weird bars downstairs when Prohibition was big. So the atmosphere of the house certainly helped it be creepy, but yeah, I think they picked it up later. I don't think it was made for them.
That was a good experience, though?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Will Schreiner was really sweet. David Mira, that played the lead guy, also incredibly nice. And so, it always helps, especially when you're first doing something, that people around you are nice and normal and not divas, and they were both incredibly sweet. And director, casting, producers, everybody on that film was really, really nice. Yeah,
and Phyllis Diller's in it.
Yeah, that was a trip. I didn't have scenes with her, so I didn't really interact with her, so a lot of times you're in stuff, you don't really meet the people you're not in the scenes with.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, because you could have told her that your brother was a comedian.
I know. And she was a real groundbreaking one, too, so it would have been interesting to meet her.
Oh, yes. And then comes Hardwire.
Yes. Yeah, that was, they cast me here, but we shot that in London and Morocco, so that was definitely a big step to leave the country and go shoot over there, which was also fun because I'd gone to school there, so it was nice a year or two later to be back with a job. Yeah, that was an intense shoot.
Yeah, it's got this kind of low-budget alien rip-off vibe to it.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I didn't feel like it was an alien ripoff in my mind because the creatures, the villain robot were so different. It wasn't bursting out of someone's stomach. We weren't in space. So for me, it was just that I guess they said that because it was a strong female lead fighting an android. But other than that, I don't necessarily think it was an alien ripoff.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. A movie becomes so groundbreaking and successful. There's a million imitators, whether it's another mainstream one or a low budget one. Used to get those a lot back in the day.
Well, I think what happens is they say, oh, people want to see this, so then they already have those stories sitting on their desk, and they go, oh, okay, I've already got one of these, let's make this. So I think they just think that that's what the market wants to see, then that's what they're making. But I don't think Richard Taylor was ripping off Alien. I think he was trying to make his own cyberpunk world that was quite different and trying to say different things.
Right. Dylan McDermott, did you think to yourself, this guy's going to be a star someday?
He was already doing very well. He had already been in Steel Magnolias, I think, and Where Sleeping Dogs Lie, and there was a military movie I'm forgetting, but so, he was already doing well. I've actually worked with Dylan multiple times now since then. I was on The Practice. We were in a pilot together that didn't go for Stephen Bochco, The Shot in Dallas, that he was the star of, and I was this intrepid reporter running around, and it was sort of like a civil war between part of the country and the other part of the country, and actually this was probably 6-7 years ago, but they thought that the pilot could be inflammatory or incendiary, and they were worried about it, so they didn't pick it up. But it was too bad because it was a good role for Dylan. It was interesting, but yeah, so we've gone on to work together a few different times.
Yeah, Iggy Pop is in it, and Lemmy plays the cab driver. Did you interact with them?
Yeah, I met also the guy from Fields of Nephilim, which is not a band that I was aware of, but I was, on a bus in Morocco with him for a week, so that was interesting. Yes, Lemmy, I did not meet Iggy Pop, which was a real bummer for me, but Lemmy I did meet, who was really hilarious, and I remember one day they couldn't get him up. They couldn't wake him up. They went to his house. They just could not get him up, and they had a scene ready to go, and they were like, I know it's your day off, Stacy. You got to come in. We got to shoot something else because we can't wake Lemmy up. And I just thought that was like such a rock and roll star,
Yeah.
He was there most of the time, but like that one morning, I guess, just couldn't sleep it off. But anyway, yeah. So he's a legend for people that like that type of music and his band and everything, and how long he stayed popular for so long with so many people. So yeah, that was very cool to work with him.
Wow. God, those rock stars, huh?
I know, and I think there was like a few empty bottles of vodka, and the poor PA was just like, I can't get him up, but they did eventually. It was fine, and there's nobody like Lemmy. Nobody looks, talks, or sounds like Lemmy, so it's like can't go like, well, let's just replace him. You needed him in there. I became very good friends with Bill Hookins that was in that movie, even though he says really horrific, creepy things about my character that were not in the script, that Richard let him improv, and later I was like horrified by, but in actual life, he was an incredibly kind person. It turns out he grew up in Dallas and had been living in London, and so had gone to school there too, so we had a ton in common and stayed very close friends for many, many years.
That's good.
Yeah, he was in Batman. I think his first film role out of London was Star Wars, if you can name it, Porkins. So, so anyway, Bill and I became very close friends for many years later.
That's awesome, because a lot of people, they work together, and then most of the time they never see each other again unless they're at a premiere or an event in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes it's a good working relationship, but you don't want to continue it, or you both have busy lives and it doesn't really mesh, and then sometimes you're like, this person's going to be in my life for years, and I'm so glad I did this film, whatever the film ends up being, because I met this person, so sometimes it leads to very cool, long-lasting friendships in your life.
Now, I've never seen this one, but you were in Dracula Rising.
Yeah, that was a Corman film. At the end, Roger wanted a reshoot, and I guess wanted a different ending, but I just remember being in the soundstage in Hollywood, and I had a friend come visit who's now quite a big producer. He just did 3 billboards or whatever, and he was just dying because they were throwing like black bats at me, and it was just so stupid. And that part, I think, ended up not making it in from the reshoot, but it was just one of those like, oh good God, Roger was like, let's have the vampire fight out this person, and they should go into space, but the money wasn't there to do that, so we shot it in Bulgaria, so being in Bulgaria for 2 months was very interesting, because back then they had just gotten out of Russian rule, and there was just no food in the shelves, there was nothing in the grocery stores, everybody was really incredibly poor, and this was right after the wall fell, and so the money had not started coming into Bulgaria. So it was a very strange place to shoot. None of the crew spoke English, the makeup artist, nobody spoke English. I think there was one person on the crew that spoke English, so it was very tough to kind of go, did I hit my mark? I'm on a horse. Do you want the horse to stop at where? And, the other interesting thing about Bulgaria is they're one one of the few places in the world where if you nod yes, it means no, and if you nod no, it means yes. So imagine you're trying to communicate with somebody, and even what they nod yes or no is backwards. So it was definitely very, very strange and tough making that film. And I remember we shot in this like 12th century monastery for a week, and the people in the monastery were very upset with us because they didn't realize it was a vampire movie, and they felt that that was bad luck, and they thought that was horrible, and that this had been a monastery and was still a semi-working monastery, and so they wanted nothing to do with it, but obviously whoever approved it didn't tell them. And so you'd be wandering in a kind of 14th century costume walking around, and somebody who's like a monk would walk by and just glare at you, and it helped the atmosphere in a way, but it was also, you felt terrible that you were shooting in their sacred space and they didn't want you there, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God.
There were amazing buildings that we shot in there because back then anybody that had a historical building could have used some money, and so they weren't throwing around a lot of money, but they had enough that they let us in spaces that I bet now they probably would not, you know? So we were like shooting in 12th, 13th, 14th century temples and monasteries and churches, you know, so it was crazy.
Yeah. Christopher Atkins from the Blue Lagoon, very handsome man. Did you have to kiss him?
Yeah, we had a love scene, but it ended up being very tame and very, like, Blue Lagoonish, and so then they came back to L.A. and shot something else with a body double, which was not me, but they took my wig, because I bought the wig on Hollywood Boulevard thinking, I'm guessing they don't have a lot of wig shops in Bulgaria, and I was right, so anyway, yeah, they added to it, but yeah, Chris was nice. The guy who played the villain, Doug Wirt, became a friend of mine for a long time after that. But yeah, that was a bit of a tough shoot just because food was very scarce, and I don't eat meat, and everything there was either meat or some sort of mystery meat. Nobody knew what they were eating, but I really struggled just to kind of find anything. I mean, there was literally nothing on the shelves when you go to the grocery store or the department stores. There was like nothing on the shelves. It was a very bizarre time.
Yeah. Wow. Was everybody skinny there?
Well, it was also like one hotel we were at, one of the actors had managed to show MTV to one of the costume girls we were friendly with, and she thought, oh, what is this American propaganda? They don't have that many things on their shelves there. And we just looked at it, we realized she totally believed that. She had no concept of, you know, before the wall came down and before they got more television stations there and stuff, they had been incredibly isolated. Unless they traveled outside of Bulgaria, they just didn't have any concept of what other Western countries were like. So that was a trip. I ended up using my per diems to help this girl in one of the hotels we were at who was trying to get out of the country. There was nothing to buy there, so the actors just pulled their money and were like, here, get out of here. You're in trouble here. There's weird people after you. And then the producer's like, you pissed off this mob guy who's now really mad at you. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Well, at least we got the girl out, so I felt okay about it.
Oh, bless your heart. I love hearing stuff like that.
Yeah, it was creepy. I went to swim, and she was, like, crying in the room. I said, what's wrong? And she's like, we're not allowed to swim if the Americans are here. They don't want us to interact, and we have to be hidden. And I was like, that's ridiculous. And so I went and said, she can swim anytime I'm here. I do not care, and please don't. And so then they let her swim. But she was working, I guess, at weird hours and was swimming. We were shooting all night, so whenever I went in to do workout, she was there, and they told her she couldn't be around with us. So we pooled our money and we got her out. So.
Yeah, you put your Texas hospitality to good use.
Yeah. It was you know, sometimes you come upon situations where you can actually do something, and hopefully, you know, it won't blow back. But hopefully, she got free of there and got out of there and got safe.
Yeah. I'll bring up one comedy rule you did because I loved it. You did a very funny episode of Seinfeld.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was. It's funny. I had read for the show, I would say, like many years. I'd read for ex-girlfriend and Jerry's and even Kramer's weird magician date, like all these times. And finally, when I booked the show, I remember like, oh my God, and I'm Jerry's date, you know. So it seemed like a extra win at the time, just because I had read for it over and over and over. So I was thrilled to finally be on it, and it was my dad's favorite show, so it was nice to be able to be on something that people watch and love. And it ended up being a pretty funny, hilarious episode, because Kramer was trying to steal that signed baseball framed document from a little kid in the hospital, and they cast the most beautiful, sweet, angelic little kid ever, so it was just so wrong that he kept trying to take it. It was really funny. And then you had Julia running down the streets of New York with dogs chasing her. So it ended up being, I think I was lucky to be in a pretty classic episode.
Yeah, I've interviewed a lot of people who guest starred on Seinfeld, and they all told me they had no idea how everyone got through a day of work, because everyone was just laughing out loud the entire time.
Well, they all took it seriously, but they laughed a lot. Like, they would argue. The shows always were too long, like 10 minutes too long. So after shooting, Larry David's like, we have to cut this and this. And I remember they tried to cut a couple of my lines, and Jerry was like, nope, you're not cutting those. She's funny. Leave those alone. But Larry's like, it's too long. So, they argued over not argue, but like they dissected every joke. Is this person killing this joke? Then leave it in. If this person isn't, or is this joke really work? If it doesn't, cut it. So there was constant changes going on. I said Grandma Mima a million times in the show, and right before we went on, they were like, make it Mima. I know you've been doing Mima all week in rehearsal, but make it Mima, so I was panicked that I was going to get it right. It was the first 3-camera I'd ever done, and Jason Alexander was so sweet. He took me around before we started, and he's like, you haven't done one of these? Oh my God, okay, so this is, here's where you're going to walk out, here's where you're going to do, and at the end you're going to walk out, we're going to take a bow here, and he just walked me through the whole thing, and couldn't have been sweeter. So that was great. And my brother knew Michael Richards from comedy, and I'd actually worked with him on a project years later that Diane Keaton directed for Spielberg. That was like a test of a movie they were going to make, and they hired me to be the love interest opposite Michael. And so I had worked with him, but Michael was a real perfectionist. He would be hilarious. The audience would be dying, and he'd be like, let's do it again, let's do it again, let's do it again. Like he wanted to keep finding a new way to do it, so they sometimes stayed late, just kind of letting him do one more take of stuff, just so that he felt. But he was, he's very much a perfectionist, like all of them were, just to get the comedy right.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was just a comedy making machine. That whole group there on that show, and that was I think the last season that Larry David was on.
Yeah, it was. I think he went off to do other things, obviously, really well. After that point, I think just probably burned out, because it's so much pressure and so many years and episodes, and it was such a water cooler show.
Yeah, I think what I've heard Jason Alexander say this. I think Larry David took away the complexity of the characters when he left, because even though the writing was still great after he left and everything, the show kind of became predictable. Like, everybody knew what they were going to do. But when Larry David was on, there was no telling what these characters would do.
Yeah. It's also fun because they let them be so unlikable. They were all about themselves, but in a way that made you care for them and laugh with them. But yet, if you took a step back and looked at their behavior, it was pretty bad. Except Jerry, he never behaved that bad.
Yeah, and how they wrote around like his style of stand-up comedy in certain situations, saying things like, if you eat soup for dinner, that's not dinner, stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff that he does in his stand-up. That was just brilliant writing that, you can't get anywhere else.
No, it's true. And that was funny about my episode is they preface it at the beginning scene where he's not eating anything unhealthy and he's on a health kick, and then he meets a girl, her cousin, who's obsessed with meat and like like make some pork chops and lamb and mutton, you know. So it's like right when he's trying to eat healthy, he has this obstacle show up that's the opposite of what he wants to be doing. But you know, that's how they kept the comedic tension going. It was very funny. I remember being in a restaurant in Utah. I was doing a show there, and I was in a restaurant by myself, just trying to eat and go back to the room and go to sleep early. And the waiter came over and he pointed. There was a table of people, and they were like, "They think you're the mutton girl, and they want to like buy your dinner. And then, like, do you want a mutton or a steak?" You know, it was so funny. They were trying to like, you know, offer me mutton as if I wanted that, but I waved and said hi, and that was it. But I didn't. Anyway, it was just funny because it happened a few times where people would try to give me mutton in restaurants and stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing what impact that show's had.
Yeah. I was really happy to be a part of it. I was out of the country. They did a TV Guide thing where all the women of Seinfeld had been dates or whatever, and I didn't get to be a part of it because I was off doing something. I was so bummed out because, you know, it was kind of a fun group of people that a lot of the actresses knew each other. We'd see each other on auditions, whether for that show or whatever. So over the years, you're like, oh yeah, you did that one. I read for that, and you did that. I read for that. You know, so we you know, would have been fun to meet up with a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. So you've worked nonstop throughout your career. You've been very versatile in your career, done all different types of roles and genres.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. I mean, I certainly didn't set out to do any kind of one genre. I think for the most part, you know, you work, and if something really hits, then that's how people see you. So then you end up getting a lot of those roles, and if nothing hits, then you keep just doing what the roles that speak to you that come your way. So I think a lot of times casting just sees people, oh, I see her as this because I just saw her do that, and so then you'll keep getting those kind of things just because that's what they just saw you do last. So it's, you know, I don't think most actors really want to be pigeonholed into one thing, but I certainly found it just as interesting to be doing comedy as I did, you know, to be crying on a 1 hour and, you know, a thriller or a horror film or whatever. So I mean, you know, they all take different muscles of acting, and so nowadays I think with like Toni Collette and different people, you know, horror film acting is getting a little bit more respect that you are creating a performance, even though it's in a horror film. If you don't buy the people taking you through that horror film story, then the film's usually not that good. So you have to hopefully be bringing a performance that keeps them engaged. So I think it's looked at a little differently now than maybe it was for a while, but yeah, I certainly enjoy doing all different types of genres and not limiting myself or even feeling like people only see me as this, or, you know, I think the more different things you can do, it keeps it interesting.
Mm-hmm. And what made you go from redhead to blonde?
I was blonde. I went red when the director, Richard Stanley, he called me up from London and said, I'd like to offer you the part. I just have one question. And I said, okay, what is that? And he said, will you dye your hair red? And I said, of course. So, but what ended up being a problem was getting the right red, because I didn't realize the whole film he was shooting it in a very red filter, which became a problem years later when they went to put it on video and even DVD, because the red was very tough to transfer. But I'm not sure why technically, but I just know they had some issues with it showing up. It was quite dark just because he made it really red. But so then we did some hair and makeup tests, and the red that I came out of the salon with that I thought looked good in life did not show up as red in the film with all the red filters. So the DP kept just saying, she's got to be red, more red, darker, more red. So in the end, the color was so odd in life that I wore a lot of hats all around shooting that in London for a couple of months. And then also because it was all supposed to be taking place in a 2-day period, the red couldn't fade, and every time I washed it, it partly would wash out, and so I ended up having to just like not wash my hair but once a week. And on set, there were feathers and dirt and dust, and it was just kind of disgusting. So I always think of that red as being like hellish, because it was hard to maintain what he wanted for it to show up on camera in life, because I couldn't really wash it or do much with it, in between, because it would not match over the length of the film, which I think is like 24, 48 hours. So.
Yeah, I like the red personally.
Oh, thanks. It is a baseline of, I think my aunt is, we're sort of Irish, Scottish, Scandinavian stock, and she is a natural redhead, and my hair goes red very easily, so it likes to stay that way. It took me a long time to kind of get it back to blonde because the red really grips. It's hard. So, nowadays red is very popular, but for whatever reason, I think that Richard based Jill on a particular person, perhaps, and that maybe she was redheaded, but he was very adamant it had to be red hair and had to look a certain way. So it's fine with me. It was just hard to maintain. I remember trying to go to dinner at a nice restaurant, and a friend of mine was like, "You have a feather in your hair?" I'm like, "Oh!" So I just quickly put my hat back on and just kind of walked around wearing hats all the time.
Do you have any upcoming projects you want to plug?
And the other thing was when we shot Morocco, the red hair was very noticeable to them, so I wore the little hood on my Moroccan dress all the time, so I tried to hide. It was very obvious we were Americans on the edge of the desert.
Yeah.
I did 2 episodes of Splat, and I'm hoping to be back. It's on CBS, so that's right now what I've been doing, and yeah.
Do you ever sign autographs at conventions?
I have, but not lately. I was in the final couple episodes of Angel, and when Angel was still on the air, about to go off, I did go to London to do an Angel convention, which was a lot of fun, and people had really interesting. Some woman had a prop from Hardwire that had been in my studio. Someone else had some, and it was just really amazing because even though it was in London, there were fans from Germany and all over the world that kind of showed up for that. So that was a trip. But yeah, I haven't really done them here. I know, obviously, Comic-Con and big ones, but I can't say I've done that lately. I have friends that were in Star Trek or the newer versions that seem to do those more. So.
Well, if you ever get booked for a con in California, I'm there.
Oh, cool. Well, I will let you know. I think there was one I was supposed to do a few months ago, or a year ago, I can't remember, that got moved, and then I couldn't do it. But I will let you know. It's always fun to meet people that want to meet you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Stacy, thank you so much for your time today. I can't tell you how great this was, and you're so fun to talk to.
Oh, thank you so much, Tommy, and thanks for asking me on the show. I really appreciate it, and thanks for being a fan, keeping these movies alive. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yes, my pleasure, and you have yourself a great day.
You too. Take care. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. Stacy Travis. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Stacy. I just love that Texas hospitality that you have and your great stories and your fun anecdotes. You are so awesome, and I hope I get to meet you someday. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes!